So I'm making this video. Boy, so I'm making this. I don't really know if I call it a video podcast. I don't know. Like I'm not even gonna talk at all. And then talk. No, I'm gonna talk. This is gonna be very rambling. It's basically just me explaining the music I've made. Yeah. So maybe a slideshow would be better. Like I'll put images on the screen when I can. So I first started making music back in 2020 when I moved to where I currently live, and that stuff was just made in GarageBand. But the first thing I made from there was pretty good. It was called "The Setting," and it's about the only really good thing I can say about it. Yeah, the song itself was just me playing around with this particular bass sound in GarageBand. I couldn't even read music yet. I was just going based off of how it felt. You're probably wondering, am I gonna play it? No, I'm not. But that was made, and then I moved house, and so I started working on another thing because I got bored waiting for people to come over for a very fateful event which was about to happen. It was I think a house party we'll call it that my family was hosting. Oh Lord have mercy, that my family was hosting, and I had set up a lot of different things. What happened is that I recorded an album called the Nathan Travel Mix. Now that album no longer is up because I don't like the four of the tracks on there, and at the time I didn't like the entire album. But then when I took it down, I didn't like the album at all. But then I realized some of these are pretty good. So I took the five tracks on there I liked the most, the setting, which I already talked about, Nobby Town, which the backing track was from a game I had made, and then I just added the words on top of it because why not? Midget is a cover. It was like this cover of a Devo song by the same name, which they were trying to make fun of popular funk at the time. I made the song entirely on a rubber band. Uh, Still not able to understand music, read or do anything, trying to figure out anything. It's not very. It sounds all right, but it's just not that good. Tell Me Sir was the other track from there I like that was just about ear rape, which I like ear rape. Ear rape is pretty good. The only track on there which I actually still really like it's called Noise. It's basically just me going, there's too much noise around me. I can't sleep or think. All the noise, 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 noise. It was pretty good. Yeah, I have some stuff pulled up as I'm going through this. But as I was doing that, and then I realized, some of these tracks are alright. And that led me to starting work on an album, which originally was supposed to be a chip tune album, but it slowly became some basically just me taking the songs that I liked from Chippy's for the album's called Chippy's for Your Nippies from the Nathan Travel mix, and turning it into this album called Chippy's for Your Nippies. Now, why did I call it Chippy's for Your Nippies? Simple. I thought it was funny. I thought the name Chippy's for Your Nippies was a funny name, and it is a pretty funny name. So yeah, Orderly Chaos in 2 second beats, but I'm not quite sure about the time. It may be 3 seconds. Wait, since I got a little bit of I'm just gonna be doing that for a while until inevitably I tire myself out. But they were made in Boscasiole, or however it's said. It's this horrible, crappy little music creation program that I learned about from the YouTube channel Brackies back when I was trying to make games in Unity. And, I still kind of do that. But, it Orderly Chaos, it was made by distorting everything. It sounds awful. Like, legitimately awful. And 2 second beats, but I'm not quite sure about the time. It may be three. Lord have mercy. It may be 3 seconds. 3 seconds. I'm struggling to say 3 seconds. Lord have mercy. It was made in the similar manner. It's just, hey, let me make a little bar of these with a single tone. And, it sounds actually alright. But that was made in Bosca Cioli. And Bosca Cioli is this horrible, Bosca Cioli, however it's said. It's this horrible program. You hit escape, oh, the program closes. Doesn't ask you want to save. If you were making something very complex, unless you saved it beforehand, it's lost. I think there might be a newer version of it which has that now. Coffee drink. That has on it the it has on it like everything which you could have wanted, but it still sounds the same. There might be. I haven't really played around with it much. On Chippy's for Your Nippies as well, most of it is just me taking other songs. The only tracks which are actually made on there for the album were Orderly Chaos, 2-second beats, a track which I deleted the track from the internet, but it still exists. I still have it. I'll talk about it when I get to it. And Tale of Woe. Everything else was from the other project. Other projects. Nathan's coming for the money. All 3 versions. So it's basically just me beating on the desk to the Nokia espionage theme, while I give like the worst rap over it. Like I probably have the words in here. Oh shit! Now you wouldn't listen. Now I'm coming for the money. Give me the money. Give me the bunny. $5 will subdue me if everyone gave me $5 American dollars. Then I'd be able to buy everything except for the dinosaur chicken nuggets. Whoops. A lot of the stuff that I write, I often have like that is humorous. It's often an inside joke. I don't remember it being an inside joke with like the dinosaur chicken nuggets. So it's probably just me being stupid or something. The fast version, I set like the 2x speed and just did like. Oh no, my headphones are dead. Oh no. So yeah, so while I do this, you may hear some scraping. Yeah. Peanut butter for your penis. So when I was making the album, I told my brother Caleb, hey, I'm making this new album. What did that came for? Like, it's low on battery, so it said, please charging. Yeah, but I told my brother I'm making this album called Chippy's for Your Nippies. It said, oh yeah, peanut butter for your penis. And that's how that was made. The song is basically just me describing this guy named, I think I called him Nabo Polazar, who like he feeds his kids poop while his wife goes insane, and then he does stuff with his dog. Yeah, I deleted it off the internet because I don't want that song. And I'm very glad it wasn't put on the Nathan Travel mix because I think something might have archived it. The Number Song. The Number Song is a song about numbers. I think I ripped off a Jack Stauber song called 499, partially. I think. Hey Esteban / Come Here. So I used to be a libertarian, and this was me thinking, well, wonder what these assholes would think. What would they say to the servant? Hey Esteban, come here. Pass me the bonbon. What even is a bonbon? I think I either knew what that was. I actually don't remember what a bonbon is. I don't wonder a chocolate. It's a small chocolate filled with liqueur or other sweet. Okay, yeah, chocolate. Hey Esteban, come here. Pass me the cocaine. I don't care if it's illegal. I'll pay the honorable man as in a judge. Pass me the label maker. I need to add labels to my stoned fingers and name them. Hey Esteban, come here. I need you to play the saxophone. Now that was an inside joke. Saxophone. Not anymore though. Telephone call / I kidnapped your parrot. So both Hey Esteban and Telephone Call are from the album the Nathan Travel mix. And I think Telephone Call / I kidnapped your parrot might be a little bit racist in hindsight. I mean, I don't really care if it's racist. It's funny. It's about this guy named Esteban. He's like, "Hello, my name is Esteban. I kidnapped your parrot. Please pay me money." Like it's funny. It's funny. You know, it's funny. The song Coronavirus Song China Sucks. It originally was called Coronavirus Song / China Sucks, but for some, but you can't name directories on Windows with slash, which there's a reason for it. Like on Linux, I could do it now. No, actually, no, I couldn't. So no. Well, I could. I know a way. Life finds a way. Linux finds a way. The song is written in 2020, and it basically is just me explaining this. My brother is in the song, and this back when he was in the coins. Excuse me. Oy, I'm gassy today. A Tale of Woe. So the song makes no sense. I'll read to you the lyrics as we go. I haven't pulled up. I wonder if my mouse clicks are coming through from that. Uh, Here's a story. I'm not going to sing it. Here's a story all about how I was eaten after I walked off the plank. I know they'll be killed in my death. Uh, so all the words for the song are made up. They said they walked me off the plank because they were paid by someone to do so. I knew it was my brother. I know he'll die too. Also entirely made up. In the night I went off to bed. No one understood what this meant. Me new crew I found speaks Polish, but they were all women. Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah. The weird thing about this song, so Boss Gasiola, you can't perfectly loop tracks if I was to put it in like Audacity. So the voice is in the middle, while the sound of an accordion is on the left channel. The sound of me banging on a metal tin and a water bottle is in the right channel. Yeah, it doesn't sound the best, but it's entirely self-made. My final wish, which I'm just going for the tracks as we do this. So my final wish is be saying the following words: I bequeath unto you my final wish: burn the IRS. And I would request that people actually do more now, and in real life, in Minecraft. Huh, 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 huh. So yeah, but I took down Hung Joesh and Chippy's Furry Nippies for the following reasons. Hung Joesh was made out of me trying to during a time in my life where I mixed together the idea that nothing matters. I'm so deep, bro. I'm so deep, bro. With my Christianity, which at the time was really nothing. Yeah, the album's called Hung Joesh, and Joesh was spelled Joesh for some reason. So it looks like it's a Josh. No, it's Josh, because the original cover, there's two covers. There's the one I drew, and there's one which was just a picture of a Yoshi hung by a rubber band in front of a laptop with a picture of beans that was used on the Bandcamp release. But yeah, I didn't want that up just because it was really pretentious. Just really like the most 15-year-old thing I could make. I didn't like it. And Chippy's Furry Nippies, I didn't want it up just because I didn't want you. I wanted less people to see the phrase Nathan J. Knox, Chippies for your nippies. But yeah. We're gonna move on. It was about a year between How to Be Cool and I think a year. Hold on. Yeah, about a year between How to Be Cool and Chippy's Furry Nippies, I think. There's an actual date probably somewhere. Yeah, December 26, 2020. And I got done with this one. This one was released in July 19th of 2021. Yeah. So, Chippy's Furry Nippies, How to Be Cool was made by taking other works and putting them together. So I started work on a soundtrack for a Minecraft world me and my brother played on, and there's a lot of crap connected to that, but How to Be Cool is legitimately a decent album. It's just juvenile, but it's pretty good. Monkey Call is so I have this instrument. It's a Yamaha PSR something or another EW 300. I took that and then I just put it together. What am I saying? No, I didn't just put it together. Oi. No, I'm so the lowest. So if you hit the low E on that, I believe it's an E. Yeah, it's an E. If you hit the low E on that, it produces the most drawn out screaming sound out there. I'll see if I can play it now. There's like other stuff that are in there. I don't know how that if that came from the microphone. I stopped it. Uh, yeah. A tired. So one of my coworkers, I told him about that making music. He listened to Tired. He thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I don't think he mentioned the last part. The last part. So the album used How to Be Cool used to be called Shitosis, which it was a word I came up with, and I lied and about some people said, "Oh, I was trying to make a game, and this is what the title, which title was." No, I just wanted to say shit. You're like, yeah, guys, I said shit. Yeah, I said shit. What are you gonna do about it? Gonna cry? Yeah, but third album's like that. This one, the backing track was made in the Bosco Ciola, but then it cuts to me talking. The last part, it has originally it was the same guy, but I added in when I made the lyrics so that it was different people. So it's Thaddeus who hosts the show Bean Talk, and this guy named Andrew, who's my brother, and then I have this text to speak Sam, which Sam was like some module which was on the Commodore 64 that you can find a version of it that will talk. It's online, and I just entered in what I what I had to do, but it'll only do so much, so I had to split into two. But it ends with me. If you look at the lyrics for it, it says me. I'm calling this guy Uncle Yusuf. That's just my brother still, but it just sounds different enough to where I just said it's a different guy. Pre-coalescence chambers comes from the Ape soundtrack, which that's what the Minecraft world was called. It was called Ape. How to Be Cool. So there's a meme that says, "Do you want to be cool? Just be yourself." Nah, just kidding. Commit tax fraud. And so that's the entire joke behind it. Most of this album is just inside jokes. Yeah, post coalescence is it's much better than pre coalescence chambers. It's shorter, but it's pretty good. While I was making this album, the AC in my house died, and so I would go into the closet to record this. This was one of the last tracks made for it, and it's just me going hot in my mind, heat in my brain. I can't breathe. I'm going insane. Out and About is a song about politicians because I used to be a libertarian, and it's just me rambling. It's just like, what if I was a politician? And then it's just, well, like, not politician, a bureaucrat. Like, just some bureaucrat's the word I mean to say. I dislike bureaucrats to a degree, a very big degree. A lot of them need to be purged from life in Minecraft. There's a bean. So I used to have an iPhone, and so I would download GarageBand. I would just play around with this one sampler. So I just said, "There's the beans," because I used to have a thing with beans. Like I used to be known as the Bean Man in some places. It was mostly a self-imposed nickname, but people still called me it because I would say the beans are alive. Like I wrote a whole schizophrenic manifesto. I think I was actually losing my mind, but I did write a schizophrenic manifesto, which will never see the light of day, as I deleted it because circumstances have changed. I'm a changed man, yo. Not a schizophrenic anymore, just a schizo, yo. Yo. Yeah. Um, but yeah. So there's a bean, it's just me saying there's a bean repeatedly, and that's repeated. This is followed by Ear Rape 2. It's even more ear rape than Tell Me Sir. But there is music behind it. The obnoxious music, which you can't hear because I made the microphone so loud. So what I did is that I had this crappy little headphone mic that I use for most everything, and I would just say it into there really close. Like I would get really close to the microphone, and then I would increase the gain by a significant amount. Now, it's based off of the book The Magician's Nephew, which is one of my favorite novels. Uh, but I'm just going, I'm the nephew. I'm the nephew, and he's the magician. It's just me retelling the events of the book, and it just eventually evolves into what? So for Huckley's bad day, very similar to it. It's just insanity. Marja Paul's instrumental. Shonda. So Shonda's a rap song. And it's just me going, here's a story about Shonda. I don't know much about Shonda. Da 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 da. And it ends with, and my brother's in there. There's a fun fact about the song. My brother's in the background of it, but he's barely audible except in the last part. Last part. Uh, my brother, I said, my brother asked what CBD was, and I had to tell him that CBD is marijuana light. I told him that, then I explained to him what CBD was. I have like for the fact that I hate drugs and I want drugs to be, I want the war on drugs to be restarted in a more severe and smarter way. Like, we can do it better. We don't have to go hardline. Yeah, arrest them all. Fill the prisons with the blacks and some whites. No, 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 no. We can do better. But weed should be illegal again. For someone who knows so much about drugs, I hate him. But anyway, I made a Christmas album at one point, which just had like very bad covers, and one of them was a cover of Santa Dog by the Residents. Honestly, it's not too bad. Anyway, I uploaded the lyrics to Genius at one point. Like, if you go to the Nathan J. Knox Genius page, you'll see that all the submissions are, the top scholar is me, Cardboard Knox Monkey, because I just wanted it on there. But because I didn't feel like typing out the lyrics again for Santa Dog. If you actually worth a look at the lyrics on the Bandcamp page, it has on there. It has these copy pasted things where it says all this stuff that is very obviously on the side of the page. But yeah, so I used to be a big fan of like Irish folk music, like the Dubliners, and so I made a cover of Whiskey in the Jar because there are so many covers of Whiskey in the Jar that attribute Metallica as the author, as like, yeah, this is what we did. But I just wanted to have more covers. There were covers of the Dubliners one. But this is another rubber band rock thing. Rubber band rock. It's barely rock, but I liked it. Yeah, yeah. It makes no sense. In fact, in the YouTube video for it, there's a part where I flash on the screen, this album was a mistake, this album was a mistake, which is how I felt at the time. Alfonso's an instrumental, programming around options, which originally I didn't have an apostrophe, so it looked like it was about breasts. Like, that's what I first thought, because I forgot what I meant by it. I do know what the song's about. It's about me making games, and I just copy stuff down. Copy stuff in between projects. So if I had a problem or bug, it would just go for each project. I did it. Was made. Very very shortly after I completed my schoolwork. I For that year. I was homeschooled for my entire life from the time I was 5 onwards. In high school, we used I used LUOA in order to get my college completed. And college. That's how good LUOA taught me. I'm so retarded that I just did that. But yeah, LUOA, man, they get paid a lot to teach me nothing sometimes, and it's just I didn't learn my lesson except the last year of college, because high school, because I couldn't afford to, and college I got everything done on time. Alva Bang, I say I originally had lyrics, but I decided not to do it. I wrote the lyrics down and I wrote the song separately. I didn't write them to it, so it was just me trying to sing it on top of it, and it would have sounded like crap. And ultimately, the version of Outlaw Bang which is on the album is not the version which I have finally written, because there's a whole long thing which I could play at some point. Probably won't, because I don't wanna. We'll see. Yeah, Sweet, I think is what that's called. I don't know. We'll see. But How to Be Cool. So I made that, and then I said, you know what? I want to make something big, and that was at Hominem. So I began working on it, and I went outside one day, and I was walking my dog, and randomly near my house there was this a shopping cart somebody had left in like the perfect position. It just looked like a cool liminal space. So I took a picture of it, and I was like, this might make a good album cover. And then the very image which is actually on the page in that font, because I of course knew the font Algerian. I'll put it in that, and that's what happened. That was at Hominem that I was working on, but I ended up not making it for a while. It took me like 3 or so years. Yeah, 3 or so years to get to a point where I could make it. Oh man, I'm realizing that now I started working on How to Be Cool. So it was, oh my, that was 4 years. I've been saying 3 years. No, 4 years it took me to make this album. All right. Incarnation 1 was very similar to Chippy's for your, not Chippy's for your nippies. How to Be Cool. Similar method. I was like, this is too good of a title to use, so I'll make up something else. And that was Music for the Fourth War. And I hated it. After I re-listened, I was like, this sucks ass. This is horrible. I don't want anything to do with it. So I didn't release it. Alright? It was not good. It felt horrible. It was just not at all something I liked. So I began working on version 2 of that, which was going to be me basically making a project very similar to oh Lord have mercy, my mind drew a blank. It was basically a project where it was a concept album about how did the shopping cart get here? And so I thought, what if there was like in the futures that like a great descendant of mine, he put this here to warn me about something, and I just know it was. Here's what he's warning me about. Yeah, I didn't do that. And then the third one, it was more of an album, but I was using my keyboard. I just leave. Somebody's doing yard work outside. Now you got a really loud car engine. I don't know how much of that's coming through. Probably a lot of it, I think. I'll listen back just to make sure, but like, wow. Quite a lot. Quite a lot. Why do you race through my neighborhood? People do this a lot here. Lord have mercy. But, and so two songs I can remember that I specifically wrote down from here. One was called "There's a Fire in My House." It was inspired by the song "Love Becomes a Burning Building," is similar to a burning building on fire by Talking Heads. I think that's what it's called. It sounded similar like that to me, and it was basically just written about my situation at the time. There's a fire in my house. My house did not burn down. There was no fire. It was metaphorical. The fire is a metaphor. Anyway, The other one was called I think it was like the fascination or something like that. It was basically like I don't need love, and because I still had a very worldly concept of what love is. Is that love is sex, so no love until merit. Yeah, listen, I was a very strange child with a lot of strange ideas about what anything was. All right, you may even say I was a little bit retarded. Recargig, Ree ba, boobity ba, skibbity ba, babbity boobity, ba 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 ba. Mamma mia, it's me, Mario, wah! Okay, enough of that. Let's continue on. But while I was working on some of my school, I would procrastinate and I would make these projects in Boscasiole. And that became my next album, Life Rules, which it's currently lost. I know how to recover it. And I will at some point, just because I like it a lot. So a lot of the tracks, like some of them are on YouTube. Like the best song over here is this track G, but A D E Trick or Treat, The Ghost, Weed, Coke, and MDMA were made. Well, A D and E were made very similarly. Trick or Treat is Trick or Treat. The Ghost is basically the album was like this will be a spooky album. I didn't end up doing that. Weed was made for a drug documentary, which I wrote. Drug PSA, which I created. Same with Coke, same with MDMA, same with Ocean Clowns. I think that name is like inspired by like Blue Chair or something like this. Does anyone like remember that? I don't see much from like Shen comics anymore, just because I thought this guy's mad cringe. I'm not reading them. Yeah, a gad. I don't remember. God makes a mosquito. Title of a track. Same with Give the Cave the White Paint. Which I upload those on YouTube as like I think like B or C or something. A Baby Boy is just a MIDI acoustic guitar. Sass Bear. Like I miss a lot of these tracks. I'm just going through them. Some of the tracks are in bass. The titles are in Base 64. Basically, just me describing a situation where I was interested in someone. I was just like very perverse. Like you actually understood what was going on, but nobody else did. Yeah, my family has this stupid automatic vacuum. It causes more problems than it solves. But I quickly began work on at Hominem again, and it's like I should learn guitar, and then I learned guitar, which took a while, but I began writing more stuff, and I just got too ambitious, and I'm waiting until it's gonna hit my door. This is gonna be funny, but basically, I began writing, and I got too ambitious, and I said, you know what? Who the hell cares if it's good or perfect? I'm not good or perfect, so I released the album Candidate as a response. And Candidate is not perfect, but it's pretty good. For President was made because I started work on Sauceman, and it has the same drums as Sauceman because it's practically the same track as Sauceman. A lot of the riffs from there are just reused in For President. But For President was good. It's a speech by Ronald Reagan where he announces his intent to run for president, and it's actually pretty decent. I'm a little bit intrigued. I wouldn't vote for the guy because, well, in hindsight, but hindsight's 2020. That or Jimothy Carter. Yeah, I'll take my chances with the actor. Chapter 3 and for institutionalization. So my concept for this album was that what if I act like every track is going to be called Candidate and enforce something, and then I just didn't do it? That's false. It's a lie. It's a goof. It's not real. You've been pranked. It's just a prank. A chapter 3. Chapter 3 is about a specific time in my life. Same time as Life Rules. Anyway, Saucemen. Saucemen is about saucemen. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Cannot speak today. It has no meaning. It's just an instrumental. What I need to hear. So, At around the same time I made this album, something happened. I may write a song about that at some point. Long story, but basically, I started to feel, I don't know. It basically was just extreme loneliness and trying to cope with it by, instead of turning to God, turning to the idea of I need to find a girlfriend and try to date her, try to do stuff. Whether that was sex or attempt to get married, I don't remember entirely because I don't think I defined it, but I do know how it would have ended. Especially if you're that immature about it. But in the end, I wrote a note to myself, which was the words of that song. Fuck you. Fuck your desires. Fuck your feelings. Fuck your desires. Follow God. Do your prayers. Fuck you and your dreams. Who cares if you love God? To hell with, I'm not going to say their names here, but the names of the people are audible in the song, but I redacted them from the lyrics. Pray for them, but none of this shit. And, yeah. It's honestly a pretty good song. So there's a song which the title, next song is titled No to 15 at pound sign, dollar sign, percent sign. The one up the exponent thing, if you were to use it for that. Asterisk, tilde. And there actually is a reason why it's called that. It's because the song is, I'm not going to say the title, but you can figure it out if you listen hard enough what it's called. I said no to a chicken girl. If for some reason there's somebody listening to this who came to where I work and you remember me, you won't remember me. Remember me? You asked about the chicken. Hi. Please come back. But yeah, basically, this woman I didn't know came up to me and just started talking, and it's just mixed feelings at the time. Anyway, a Testicular Candace. This is the first song I ever wrote on guitar, and I think you can tell. The day I finally sliced my hand right off, in the deli. It's alright. It's an instrumental. So how it's made. I have asked 2 people, hey, can you see what's wrong with this song? And they said, I can't. The problem is that the drums are out of sync. And I notice it. I can't not notice it. Like, it's not that bad. If you don't know, you can try to pretend as much as you can. It's not that bad, but hey. I notice it. And Night Song, this is about a dream I had. But yeah. So, moving on. This was made at the beginning of Lent. And then I started working on another album, Ad Hominem. And I originally hated the album. It was partially just because some of it wasn't as good as it could be. Like, the noise has surrounded me and Madness are not as good as they could have been. And Elmer Fudd Loses is a little bit off. But you know something? It's alright. I actually think it's probably the best album I released. I like it better than the the end, like the best track there, Kaczynski Combat, which is just a good track. It's just a good song in my opinion. I like it. I'm a Tool to This is pretty good as well. Chaos Calling. I messed up one of the lyrics, a part where I say "Life of a Goyim lacks zeal." This is both grammatically correct, as Goyim is the plural form of Goy. I should have said "Life of a Goy lacks zeal," but I said Goyim lacks zeal, which it's wrong. But yeah, the entire song is just weird. Driving Song. I really like this song a lot. Going 30 and a 20, going 60 on the 60. I'm a racer, but you cut me off. I'm gonna tell you this. I did say what you think I said. What did you think I said? I just said what? I just said kite power. What's kite power? I don't know. It's a joke. The joke is that I'm a racist, cause it's called Driving Song. Get it? Ha, 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 ha. Elmer Fudd Loses It. So I came up with a song. So this song is a little bit funny. I do this Elmer Fudd impression, Be very quiet. And I just said the opening line of the song to my brother and one of our friends, and we just started laughing. Madness was the lyrics. I don't think actually have a meaning because I didn't write them down. I think I just threw it together. Um, but the music behind it I had come up with, and that was come up with that was I made that first. The noise surrounding me is probably the first track written for this thing, I think, but it's pretty good. I actually did mess up one of the words in it again, but Caprice is the best song. Originally it's called Caprice, the fantasy song, with fantasy being spelled with a PH, but a Caprice means, I think, whim or fantasy in Polish. And yeah, it's pretty good. At Hominem. So what do I make the last song about? I come up with the stuff for it, and I actually realize it's very similar to another song, though different enough to where it's its own thing, but ad hominem. So I said, why not just write an album about making the album? That's probably the most interesting thing. And so I took this album down. And then I took Candidate down. I took everything down. It's just like, I don't want this up. But then I just sort of realized, who cares? Aside from Chippy's for Your Nippies and Hung Joesh, everything else is pretty fine. And this album, it's pretty good. I like it a lot. I'm very happy with it. And Hominem's my favorite thing I've released. And then we come to the yeah. So the yeah is a Discord server which I'm in, and then I stole the name in order to make this. The album was originally called Self-Titled, which is why you have hold on a second. We're all still good. It's called Self-Titled, which is why the first and the last track are called Selbst. And there was a track which I was writing for this called Selbststadt, which I think that's a nonsense German. But the entire thing, it feels like a downgrade. Like, you gone from, okay, so we got, this is getting pretty good, and then Hanem, and then it's just, okay, it's alright. Like, the best tracks are Only If You Let Them, Election Night, Silly Little Leech, Choo Choo Again, and maybe UFCW, maybe Noxland. Noxland's alright, but maybe other stuff. Selps is alright, and Selps 2 is alright. Oh, I got into it again as well. It's pretty good. The only tracks I don't like are the ones where I obviously messed up something from what I was intending to do. But I'm glad I made it. Why I make music is, the reason I make music is because I like the idea of doing it. I also like the process of writing. Alright? Whenever I hear the sound of my own voice, it's not how I would like it to sound. But, it's fine. But I do enjoy quite a bit of music. I play guitar, I play bass, I can kind of play piano. I can at least read piano sheet music and translate it very well onto my hands and the pressing of the keys. Oh yeah, baby. I can still do that. But I'm working on writing another album. I don't know what title I'm gonna call it. The most likely candidate for a title is a Someone Somewhere Somehow, I think is what I came up with. I have Someone Somewhere Somehow. Yeah. If that comes out, I'll be excited to put it out there, and I want to put some real effort into it. Real effort, like putting the album up, having drums and bass and keyboard and guitar and and vocals and everything on all the tracks, and mixing it this time, which I sort of did on Howlin', which is why I think that the it feels like a downgrade because the a lot of the tracks on it, they're just flat. Like, especially with stuff like A Visit from the Future. Like, the reason why it sounds so blown out if you do listen to it is because it's it was really blown out. But yeah. How did I talk about record labels? So from the start, I started saying that, yeah, I have a record label. I started it. It's called Such and Such Records. The first one was called Talking Moose Records, which actually is a label which exists. So I didn't. So I changed it after I learned that to Bean Man Records because, hey, people used to call me the Bean Man. That's cool. Bean Man Records. Um, and while Bean Man Records was a decent thing, it wasn't the best. And after a little bit, I got tired of it because I don't want to be called the Bean Man anymore because, again, Schizophrenic Manifesto, which will never see the light of day because I deleted it. Yeah, Bean Man Records. It's replaced now by Nofsky Records. The old family name was Nofsky, so hey, Nofsky. Anyway, I think I'm just rambling at this point. This entire video is just me rambling about my music. Boy, okay. Yeah. I think that's just about gonna conclude it. I don't know what I'll call this if I upload it at all. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a Merry Christmas, and remember, God loves you.